Listen in on this bonus episode of the Bold Dreams Held Loosely podcast after we pressed stop record on our conversation with Sanaa. Another very juicy topic, perhaps X-rated topic, emerged from, in our back end here, and we just couldn't help but say, oh my goodness, we should be recording this. Hit record. And who knows, this might even be a preview into a future conversation where we ask Sanaa to come back and join us on the Bold Dreams Held Loosely podcast in a future season to talk more about this juicy topic.
So we talked about changes outside of like weight loss, and like one of the best changes that like I am enjoying the most is ever since I've connected with my body sexually, what has opened up for me, allowing myself to experience pleasure in a way that I never have before, because I'm no longer thinking about how I look and it's all about how I feel. The orgasms that I have been able to achieve are at a level that you don't know exist until you get there. Like, you don't know that your body can do the things that it can do until you get there, to the point where I have had orgasms without physical touch. Without physical touch. Okay?
Okay, that's I've not had that. Say more about that.
Tell us everything.
Okay, this is so embarrassing because one time it happened publicly. I did this. Michelle is just like,
I know, we're just like,
okay. I went to this event where it was a Reiki and guided meditation with sound bath. So there were different levels to the vibrational experience because it was guided meditation. And then for me, I'm very visual. And so I was like really visualizing the colors, and like, it was just like a visual experience. I was hearing the sound of the guided meditation and the sound baths. I could physically feel the vibrations of my body. And I got to a point where I was like, fuck it, just like let go. And my body was like, I'm not choking a fish out of water. Like, I was like, and I'm in this public place, and I was just, it was actually the best orgasm I've ever had, probably. And it was not touch. Yes. But also the physical ones are just beyond. I don't know how far to even take this. Like, it's just there's
Take it far.
Take it far.
My poor children. Niagara Falls. Like, I'm just gonna say Niagara Falls. That's what.
Wow. And so, Sanaa, you link this.
Yes, I link this to connecting with my body. This is it. It is connecting with my body and releasing the idea or feeling that it needs to be any different than it is in this exact moment. Like, forget it. Forget what you look like. One time, I'm going to tell you, I was in Vegas and there were mirrors on the wall. And I look over and I have a glimpse. I'm like, oh, that's what I look like. And then I'm like, fuck it. Like, back into the zone. And I'm like, listen, if that's what I look like, he's been enjoying it all these years. Who cares what I look like right now? Like, get back into the zone. And like, who cares? Get out of your head. Get out of your head and drop into your body. Drop into the pleasure. Drop into what you're feeling. Drop into all of it. Like, I'm 38 years old, And I'm like, when is this sexual peak going to end? Like, it's not like, it's not stopping. Like, it's just getting better and better and better. And I know that men and women have like different sexual peaks, but like, I'm still like, it's still going. And I know a huge part of that is embracing my body and embracing my sexuality. Like, I feel like I've like, yeah, like I've come out, like I've like, here I am, like give it to me, like I'm open arms, like let me just experience this life in this big way.
Can I change my golden nugget?
Yes.
Can I change it?
Is it a golden vibrator? Like, what is
So Michelle, we had stopped the recording and then kept chatting, and then we're like, no, it's not over. We have to record this part because this part feels very important.
round
But
2,
Michelle,
like multiple orgasms. Sorry.
Right. Michelle, this conversation started after we stopped recording because you were saying that something that was coming to you that you didn't think we had time to talk about. Can you just pick up where you left off there?
Yeah. So as I knew we had to wrap up, my mind was exploding with so many different paths I wanted to keep going down. And one of them is that I noticed I used to have this thought process or this belief of I'll be worthy of treating my body a certain way once when I'm like this, or I'll be really worthy of or be able to find the pleasure I want when I look like XYZ, or if I look like XYZ. And that has been such and continues to be such like a juicy exploration and journey of what's the word? Just breaking down that belief.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So much opens up when we release the expectation. And the expectation wasn't even set by us. It was set by society, the patriarchy, the family, like all of these external factors. So it's like hard to even know, like, is this my doing? Is this, all external? But so much opens up. And you talked about like the radiance. I feel so sexy so often. Like it's actually I just remembered this right now. We were in practitioners training and we were talking about feelings that feel good to us, and I said feeling sexy. I remember this now.
I remember that.
Yeah. And
I remember how much that stood out to me.
Yeah. And even it surprised me in that moment because I was like, oh, I love to feel sexy, but it wasn't something that I felt all the time. It was just like, I remember moments when I felt that and I really enjoyed it. Whereas now, like it's a regular part of how I feel. And it's not like I had to practice getting to that point and doing things that like I probably never would have done before because of shame of how my body looks. And like sometimes it means like sending my husband a sexy photo. Like that feels really empowering to me. And like I enjoy doing it. And it's like this like little like little moment in the day sometimes. And you think that like, sexting is something that you do when you're dating someone or when you meet someone or when you're far from someone. But it's like, this makes me feel really sexy. And so I'm going to do it. Reducing shame around self-pleasure.
Mm-hmm.
And even if you are comfortable with self-pleasure, examining how it is all, like, what do you need to do to reach orgasm, or what state of mind you need to be, or are you watching porn, or are you not, do you light a candle, do you not, like, what do you do around it? And it's like, how can you make it more intimate and more connected to the body by shutting out other things that are going on? Like, when you, a big one is like, I mean, again, I don't know like how far I want to go with this, but like watching porn, for example, it's like, there's nothing wrong with it. Like I do it. Like it's, it's there for a reason. It's, but when you are connecting with that, are you connecting with your body, or how are you connecting with your body when you're watching? Are you actually using it as a way to mask something or to distract you from something? And so it's like, when I talk about feeling things in your body, I don't only mean emotion. It's like, how does your body physically feel in this moment? Or what can you do to deepen that feeling? How do you embrace those feelings? How do you, yeah.
I'll tell you, Michelle, I've already shared this with you, but one of the like deepest pleasures I've had over the last year is I started reading romance erotic novels, and I've never read them before, and it is like a version of self-help. Like, I was tired of reading all the self-help books and the spirituality book. I'm like, I need something out of here. I need something to get me in my body. And this is like a medicine for me. It really is. It's like, it is a luxurious pleasure that has helped to reconnect me to my yearnings and my sexuality and it's been such an incredible discovery for me.
Like, get rid of the shame around exploring these
Right.
things.
Right.
Yeah.
Lately, I keep, when you think it's the best ever, and then better comes, and it's like, just like, I just feel so happy and satisfied and floaty, and like, oh, just like, what a pleasure-filled area of my life right now. And it's like, I just feel like this is like so timely. And I notice one of the reasons why it's so good right now is exactly what you're saying around, Sanaa. Like, you had this moment where something took you out of the moment, and you like, whatever it is. I used to have things that would take me out of the moment all the time, and then I couldn't get back. It's like I would start to spiral, and I'd be like, I've lost it. Like, I'm in my head. And so I've been, over the past like little while, I've had the opportunity, just because our relationship's so good and there is so much, like, I feel so safe to actually go into, oh, it doesn't really matter what's happening for me right now, and just explore, and like, well, what do I need? What does my body actually want in this moment? And just like play with that. And I've been noticing, and partly it has to do with just connecting to my body, but I'm also noticing the different kind of like thought patterns that I can connect to, that feel really good, that help me shift back into the moment. And one of the thought patterns that, there's a couple, but one of the thought patterns that I can like reconnect to help me feel even safe reconnecting to my body, or like good reconnecting to my body, is feeling like so worthy of this pleasure, and that this person feels like so, that my partner feels so lucky to be giving me this pleasure. Like, I am so worthy of this, and this person is like hungry just to please me. And it's like, that's this kind of worth that's like, that really works for me. And that's been helping so much. And I don't also like lose the connection anymore, because I'm able to be present, but there's something really around, I am so worthy of this as I am. And this like, to the point that someone is hungry and like desperate and so excited to give it to me. And it really, gosh, it's just really, it creates, oh my God, it feels so good. It's amazing.
I feel like that can be a whole podcast episode in itself, just like around.
I know. I feel like
we need to have this conversation, like, because there's so much I want to say right now, but I'm like, and he is lucky. That's the reality. Is we're so conditioned to think that like a lot of the pleasure is for the man, and we have to be a certain way or show up a certain way for them. Meanwhile, like, they're just happy to be there. Like, they really are. If you ask them,
so happy.
It's true.
They're happy to be there. So, like, despite what my body looks like 6 weeks after birth, like, my husband couldn't wait to like rip my clothes off and like for the doctor to say, okay, you know, it's like, oh yeah, he doesn't care what my body looks like right now. It's not, I think they do a better job of like how it feels rather than all the things around it. And so they're like, it feels the same. Like it's going in, like it feels the same. So basically.
And I think though, I you know, there's been times in my life where I've been very conscious, very self-conscious of my body, even though I look back at pictures and I'm like, 25-year-old Taryn, what the hell were you even, what? Like I would, you know, what? But because of how self-conscious I was, like, what is the word? Inhibited? Is that the right word? Like you're just, right? Inhibited is when you're, you know, and now I look at the version of me today in my late 30s and the as I continue to shed layers of myself of just like, this is me, this is who I am, this is my body. That like my level of engagement and passion and like uninhibitedness, and that it feels so much better for me. And I know it feels so much better for my partner too, even though my body at 38 does not look like my body at 25, you know?
Absolutely.
Totally.
Yeah. I think
I got it. Like, think about,
sorry.
Oh, no, go.
No, I was going to say, like, this is such a powerful message for women in their early 20s and like starting out and like really starting to explore their sexuality. And going back to what I said about like, they're just lucky to be there and like happy to be there. It's like, if we could have,
they're just eager to be there.
Eager to be there. And if we could just like get a hold of our confidence, it's like the confidence that comes with it. Right. And maybe that's part of the process. Maybe you're supposed to go through like your hard 20s and like try and figure it out on your own to get to this point where we feel confident and empowered in the bedroom. But another big thing that worked for me is releasing the pressure I put on myself for the amount of times that we were having sex. Because I used to think, and this is a very recent thing that I'm starting to work on, is I used to think that the amount of times that we had sex was in direct correlation with how happy we were and how solid we are as a couple. Because I would hear stories about couples that are just not having sex, you know, and I would feel so bad for them. I'd be like, oh, that like, I feel so horrible for your partner or for you or whatever. And I would keep track mentally of like, it's been a week or it's been 2 weeks or it's been, you know, and it's like, what if I just like stopped doing that? And what if I just enjoy it when it happens? And it doesn't mean that we're not happy. Just life is busy and it is what it is. And it's so much more enjoyable when I'm not worried about when was the last time that we did this. Or, oh, I used to say, oh, I really needed that. And it's like, it takes away from being so present in the experience.
Totally. You know, it's been a game changer for me, like speaking about cycles, understanding the way my cycle impacts my sex drive and like totally honoring that and not pushing against it and like working with my cycle and like not feeling guilt around the dry part of my cycle when I'm I can't, nothing in me. There's nothing in me that,
It's biology. Like it's
biology.
Yeah.
And then riding the wave of when that tide comes and that shift turns, and then just embracing that, knowing that's also temporary.
Yeah, and having fun with it.
Yeah.
It's funny, all the pressures. Like it's just like pressure for this, pressure for that, pressure for this. Like a pressure I used to put on myself was like the time it took me to have an orgasm. What horrible pressure.
What a terrible,
terrible
pressure. Imagine like this little clock ticking in your head.
I'm like, no, keep working. Go. Like, I'm not there yet. It's not like, go. Like,
and like, it's like talk about something taking you out of the moment and out of actual. Right. So like, that like, so like, it's so funny. All of these different pressures, like all of these different pressures we're putting on ourselves in relation to how we think our body should respond, how our body should feel. It's wild. And like, what a way to go to the exact opposite direction of pleasure and orgasm than like pressure to do it, right?
And lack of orgasm doesn't mean lack of pleasure.
No. But I do want them.
Of course. Every day, please. Like, of course. But it doesn't mean that there's something wrong or missing if it's not achieved. And a lot of women do not reach orgasm through penetration. And there's pressure on reaching orgasm through penetration because men do that way. And understanding that and like accepting that as well, and doing what works for you and for your body, knowing that it's different than somebody else's.
Yeah. Well,
okay.
This was like a lovely little addition to this episode. And I think maybe in a future season, we got to get you back on here and we have to debrief this some more.
Yeah, for sure.
Can we also, Sanaa, you know what I'd love to do? Like, oh gosh, I don't even know how we'll ever keep it to like a certain amount of time. Cause I want you to come back and I want us to have this conversation, like keep talking about this, like just our bodies and sex and our relationship to pleasure and all of this. I also would love to just talk about taboos. Like when you were saying that you love to talk about, like, I would just love to talk about taboos in general, this being one of them, right? But like, gosh.
An episode on taboos.
Yeah. But what we could do is come on to my podcast because I'm starting up again soon and continue the conversation.
I would love to.
We have, and then we'll start a TV show where we can have more conversations, and then we're not limited to this, right?
Love it.
Let's do that.
Thank you so much for spending this time with us. For more information, you can visit our website at www.themindrebel.com or visit us on Instagram or Facebook with the handles at @the_mind_rebel_academy. And these links can all be found in the show notes below. If you like this episode, we would be so grateful if you shared it with your fellow bold dreamers. Until next time.